Joining us now is the Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas. He's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman Doggett, I wanted to talk to you tonight. Thank you for being with us, because you know of this. You've seen this battle before. It's the same amount of stupid every time, but it's actually, in my opinion, more dangerous now than it was the last time it happened because of the economic circumstance that we're in, because there's a danger that there actually may be a recession this year, because we're still fighting inflation, because interest rates are going up. This is the wrong fire to be playing with.
Well, Ollie, you're so right, and you've summarized this situation so well. Yes, we have been through this before, but these are the chaos Republicans who put us through 15 votes last week, threw the Congress into chaos, and now they're willing to risk the future of the American economy and really the world economy. And it is a matter of how it affects individual families. The estimates I have seen are 6 million lost jobs, $15 trillion in reduced household income, a 9% unemployment rate. We don't need that at a time that we have been recovering from the pandemic with steady growth and steady progress. Many problems, but we're able to deal with that if we act responsibly. But we've got some folks up there, as you said, who are talking about a debt prioritization plan that even President Trump's Secretary of the Treasury, Mnuchin, said would not work.
Right.
And in fact, these are some of the same Republicans who voted 3 times to increase the debt limit for President Trump, but now they want to hold America and our economy and the world hostage to their dreams.
Congressman, I have time for people who in good faith have a belief that the government should spend only what it takes in, and that too much debt is a difficult thing. And I think that's an interesting conversation and one that should be had. That's a reasonable good faith argument. But what your Republican colleagues are doing in the House is not a good faith argument. It seems to be somewhere between a misunderstanding of what breaching the debt ceiling does and means economically, or a misunderstanding of what debt actually is. The idea that you buy things, you have to pay for them. You can't choose after that not to pay for them. I don't know what it is, but it's not actually the debate that should be happening about do we spend too much and how do we spend less?
Absolutely, and we need to have that debate. I'm a progressive member of Congress, but I'm a pay-as-you-go progressive. I want to see these bills paid for as we move along, and the major obstacle to that has been some of these same Republicans. You know, the first bill that they passed this week out of the House raised the deficit by $114 billion in favor of tax cheats, so that the ultra wealthy in this country and the multinational corporations wouldn't be audited as much, costing us and adding to the deficit. This is a group that has really a goal of just eliminating much of our government, our education, our social services, our health, and they want to use this device to eliminate programs they don't like. How they would prioritize the debt. And you mentioned they want to create the impression they'll pay Social Security and the military, but they're leaving out the FBI and the school lunches and the Border Patrol. There's no way, as I said, even President Trump's Secretary of Treasury said, that prioritization will work. It's just designed to give them political cover for the threat that they're making to upset our economy and impact and harm so many families just to achieve their policy goals, which are all backwards, and as you say, they really misunderstand this whole issue.
Let me ask you this, though. There are enough moderate Republicans in the House who might say, we can't do this. If we do this and we cause stagflation, or we cause a deeper recession, or we cause massive inflation, those fingers will point right back to us in the next election. So if it's about political preservation, this doesn't seem to make sense. Is it possible or likely that some moderate Republicans will just vote with Democrats to increase the debt ceiling and say, look, sorry, we can't go along with this?
Well, that is our hope. I think that what you'll see as these threats continue, and we have a few months in which the Secretary of Treasury, Secretary Yellen, is taking these extraordinary measures to give us a little more time to work this out, is to have a petition there that if we can get a majority of the House to sign that petition, and we've got about 212 Democrats to do it, we only need about 6 more Republicans to make it happen, then we could force what's called a clean debt ceiling resolution to raise the debt ceiling without any of these annex and add-ons. And so we'll see if there are 6 moderate Republicans who will do that. There probably aren't many more than 6 moderate Republicans in the entire House these days, as we saw with the Speaker's election, an unwillingness to stand up to these extremist elements within their own party. But hopefully there are 6 who recognize the dire circumstance if for the first time in American history we breach the full faith and credit of the United States.
Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas. Joining us now is Jared Burns.